Welcome back to you, pumpkins. You're my friend and you sit on squeaky chairs. I know you do. The Mt. Gox Ponzi cycle is repeating for Bitcoin because Bitcoin is around $34,000. It is now toggling around there and we're hoping to see the $32,000 level hold. That's exactly what we're playing for. The Mt. Gox Ponzi cycle is the blue line on this chart. If we zoom in to the far right, you will see Bitcoin is actually right here. It's actually fascinating that it's been continuing. This is what we like to see, even though I do believe one day the cycle will break in terms of the 4-year halvening cycle. It's possible that we go much longer than everyone thinks. The stock market might be the ultimate betrayer of us, but for now, it's not. We got to make this high low. I also want to remind you, as we're continuing this cycle, I'm going to show you the full chart. We can appreciate that despite there being these setbacks, they are higher lows. So the Bitcoin cycle is continuing. I mean, if we zoom in, it's kind of crazy how wildly accurate it is. I don't know why this is repeating. We have some theories. Mt. Gox, the exchange, lost 80% of the world Bitcoin volume, and then FTX was also an exchange that went down. There was a big kick in the nuts there. But are we going to continue? We don't know. It's all about that Bitcoin halvening. The Bitcoin halvening is going to be in April 2024. And then traditionally, the next 12 months after that are super bullish. 3 out of 3 times, the Bitcoin halvening year is green, which means 2024 is a green year. So it's going to be exciting. If we finish the end of 2023 high, how far are we going to go in 2024? It's possible we still dip. We don't know. Your stock market, World War III, recession, all these jitters. It doesn't mean we stay low, but there might be cracks in the system that come, which force a bit of a Fed pivot, and that's what we're all waiting for. I'd like to remind you, at the bottom, let's go back. Let's just show you, right? At the literal bottom, friends, there were people, I mean, oh man, they were really bearish down here. You saw this down here. This time was not different. Many people said it was different, right? Right down here. You see that period? This is where these types of comments came out. Look at this. A person I have known for more than 10 years who I consider trustworthy is convinced the cryptocurrency economy will shortly experience a systemic risk. I don't know anything concrete, but if I were exposed, I would be concerned. I think Vitalik even called this dude out. And it's like, this is the most cringe tweet. It was literally at the low. I remember tweeting, I was like, this is way too cringe to be real. There's no way this dude ends up winning after we've gone down. Remember, how many times have I told you, my teaching friends, I've told you, check the comments, check the information and the opinions you're seeing out there. Are they giving you insight or are they just merely describing the color of the candles for the month that have preceded it? I want you to think about that. This gentleman, Paulie, was like 1, 2, 3 greens, a red, 2 green, red, green, 2 red, too many red candles. I had a feeling, even though his sentences were nicely constructed, that he was simply describing red monthly candles. This is why I made so many videos for you that you like, subscribe, belly button all, and you shock the algorithm, family-friendly show. To show this with you. If I did not show this to you, you're not going to learn. And then when we get to the euphoria, you're still not going to learn. You're going to think, oh my gosh, Rocka Negra ETF, we're going to go to $900,000 Bitcoin. It's going to be the biggest and brightest ever. Maybe. What if it's not? What if Jim Cramer gets bullish at the top at $80,000? You know? I want Jim Cramer to get bullish at $220,000 Bitcoin. But what if he gets bullish at $80,000? You're going to think back to these times and wonder, oh my gosh, I wonder what my life would be like if I actually deployed my capital, if I actually DCA bought into real DeFi and Bug Eater DeFi and other coins I may or may not like. Let's crank the music as well, friends. Angel music. Let's think about this. Will Bitcoin retest 30K? What's going to happen? We don't know. I feel like this break recently, I mean, you can feel it too. Something changed. Everyone was realized, oh, we're actually out of sellers now. You actually could smell it. I can smell a bull market coming. You can feel it in the air. Here is Arthur Hayes. You should listen to most of Arthur Hayes' words, every word he says. I'm not saying to follow it. I'm just saying this dude understands macro. he understands it almost too much in too much intricate detail, so you don't really see the real picture anymore. That's what happens, friends. The more you dig in, you inspect the complexities, but then you're able to just sidestep the peanut brains who end up, unfortunately, doing better. They're like, yeah, world's probably not going to end. I'm just going to hold long. Oh, yeah, we're probably going up. Who cares? That type of attitude actually makes it in markets, okay? It's the whole, oh my gosh, these 5,000 things need to go right before we go up. That type of mentality does not actually do you any justice in the long run. So Mr. Arthur Hayes saying, who has the best pre-rich photo? So this is Tetranode. Tetranode, if you see him around, is an Ethereum billionaire. I believe he came from the medical industry, if I remember. And he put like his entire wage into Bitcoin, and this is probably earning a doctor's salary. Who knows, right? Imagine putting like 300 grand into Ethereum back when it was like 30 bucks. This guy just went full on all in. He's a billionaire now. So, I mean, I guess congratulations. You made it. But let's talk about our bags here as well. So we've got, let's actually first we'll inspect PulseChain. Pulse, still 32% below day one sack. This is PLS, real DeFi. We're hoping it recovers to day one sack. We also got to remind ourselves that Eric Wall, friendly Eric, is 10x away from losing if we get to day one sack. So we're still not even there yet. So from here, Eric's bet here. Eric believes we're never going to get above 10x for day one sack. I think that's too low, to be honest. Like, that's only like 15 to 20 billion market cap. I mean, that's absolutely nothing. I mean, considering people bought Doge to 60 billion, 80 billion, like, surely this thing just keeping to survive as Bitcoin goes up with Ethereum will be able to do it. But I guess we'll wait and see, okay? What about PulseX as well? PulseX got hit super hard. It's still 80% below day one sack. Now, the chart doesn't look that bad, does it? That's because it's a log chart. If you put it on a linear chart, you go, oh, crap. The line is where everyone's still long. The weekly super trend flips bullish at minus 60% below day one sack. So that's everybody can basically take no risk, no political risk or human risk, wait for that to confirm and then get in, and they basically get to dodge most of the damage and get a better price than us. But I guess we have to suck it up. We just got to accept it for what it is. It's the same story with EHEX and PX as well. The EHEX-PX ratio is flunking around. It's come back down to like 0.56, but I would personally, this is me, do what you want. Not going to play around with it unless you give me a super premium and earning yield. You can liquidity provide. You can just stake and chill out. Increase the size of your bag. You're probably going to make more by thinking about how to increase the size of your bag. Not like, oh, okay, I got to buy and I got to sell. Got to forget. Don't forget, man. This move that happened, this weekly candle, why did it happen this way? Is because there were no sellers on the way up. Why? Because everyone sold on the way down. Like, you only get that type of move because everybody gets wrecked and we go through the pain. So we've got quite a while to go. So just as a refresher for everybody in the PulseChain Hex community. So 2 years ago, Bitcoin was $29,000 when Pulse did our sack. So Bitcoin's up 16%. Pulse is down 30%. And then for PulseX, Bitcoin was $46,000. We are down 28% for Bitcoin. However, PulseX is down 83%. So we got a long way to go to cover the ground. So Hex as well. So combined Hex. From the PulseChain sacrifice, it's down 75% still today. And we're down 93% from PulseX sack. I know there's teething issues, but I'm starting to feel like there's been enough time. The prices are getting ridiculous now. However, in January and February of the year, next year, we basically have a high probability that ETH, BTC, and altcoins start moving, which is what they do every single Bitcoin halving year, the first 2 months of the year. Don't know why, it just happens. Everyone gets a fever. We might see a further repricing upwards as that happens. I know a lot of people are going to call for day one sack PulseX, but I mean, we're going to need a lot of money to come in for that. We have Mr. Scarlet R asking, is the pump over? I like this question. Why? It means we're in disbelief. Okay, we're in disbelief. You see how we're saying, is it over? It's over, isn't it? We stopped already. That is exactly what you want to say. That is the fuel for the early run. When people are saying, we are going so much higher. Oh my gosh. When people are talking like that, it's because a lot of buyers have already come in and you're starting to run out. Also, I think it's a time to remind ourselves. So Eric got bearishly euphoric at the low, But of course, I mean, we haven't really won yet. We are winning. We're on the way. It's going to take time, but it's just something to think about, friends. A lot of these commenters will come out and they'll say, well, you know, this thing's bad, etc. But I'll tell you so many times, what they're doing is describing the monthly candle. When you zoom in, you look at these patterns, everything's bad, but they're not actually, there's no unique new edge. What I mean by that is, tell me what we're doing in the future. That's what I want to know. Tell me how you get to that. What do you see in the future? What they're actually doing is describing it now. Now, I understand this. You can't fault anybody. This is markets. You have to be around for 10 plus years to know what the hell's going on. Luckily, I've been able to fast track 10 years of your experience by giving it to you right now. You get to talk to me right now. You didn't have to pay for me for this mentorship or any of this other stuff. So Pulse went all the way down here, and Eric was bearish to euphoric. PulseChain, the most decentralized blockchain in the world, is down 63% because one man got sued by the SEC yesterday. So yeah, it is this. Also, we can't forget this, okay? There's another thing you gotta understand. So I had Mr. Night J saying, you are obsessed with that, bro. Give it a rest. So you gotta get out of this mindset of, we are just pawns, P-A-W-N-S. We're little pawns in the game of chess. Do you understand? It's all a game. We're playing a game. There's no obsession, except, for example, would you go tell a World of Warcraft raiding crew, oh my god, you're so obsessed with Ragnarok, bro. Why do you guys keep going after Ragnarok every week? You understand? It's a game, friends. There's bosses, there's characters. You understand there's cycles of narratives, beginnings and ends and climaxes. It's all one thing. They're running parallel to each other and they are connected. Okay, so Eric is an actual asset to the Richard Heart ecosystem. Yes, you want to throw eggs at Eric's face when the candles are going down and we feel like everything's going to zero. But I know in my heart when that happens, as soon as things go green, you're like, little Eric, what was I? Did I want to throw eggs at you? Come here, be my friend. So they're assets. Why? He's a conduit path that helps exposure reach an audience outside the bubble. This is super important. If you keep talking to everyone in the bubble, all we can do is make noise, but we don't grab anybody out. We have to seek people outside. That's how the new connections are made. That's actually why it's harder and harder for Bitcoin to grow. Because Bitcoin's already got a freaking country. Bitcoin already got Elon Musk's attention. Bitcoin already got government attention. You understand that? All those connections, all the easy connections, they're running out. So we are lucky that Eric has chosen, like, out of all these poop chains, that Eric's decided to spend time on PulseChain. You know, Eric was the guy. I read Eric's thread a long time ago about Cardano. Eric made a thread on Cardano at the very top. I still remember. So this is Cardano chart, Charles Hoskinson coin. Now, I don't know exactly where it made it, but somewhere in this zone here, he made a thread. He's like, okay, I'm hearing a lot about Cardano. Let me go explore it. Let me go see this world-changing technology. And he went and explored it. And he goes, oh my God, they're using UTXOs, which is just some, I don't know, some sort of technology thing. Not that good. I think Bitcoin uses that. He's like, oh, the transactions are really slow. And he goes through the tech and he's like, what is everybody getting excited about? You won't be able to do any of these things you claim, you know? And that was it. I remember reading it and I was actually like, oh crap. You know, the thing is, of course, the price went up. It doesn't mean the price won't go up. People still get excited, but it's good to have this perspective of like, because you have no idea. I have no idea. Like, what's the tech? I don't even know where to go look at the code for a layer 1 chain. Do you? I got no idea. We could go Google it. We could go ask, but he could just go do this. He puts his thread together and he's like, well, it ain't that crash hot, you know? And that's why it helps, man. It helps when something's bullish at the top, bullish euphoria, and you're thinking, wait a minute, this guy's not that impressed by the tech. Why? Why isn't he impressed? Now, you got to be careful because skeptics, they can also skepticize you out of buying the bottoms, okay? But it's good to have his perspective. And he's left Cardano. He spent like one day on Cardano. He's done. So it's fantastic that he still gives attention to PulseChain. Now, he's distanced himself away, but I'm sure as green candles appear, he'll come back. So don't forget, man, we went through a lot of pain. We've been through so much pain. Gary Gensler, the Seaman Demon, and the corrupt SEC, they made 200,000 people suffer with a 70% daily loss to their Hex and PulseChain bags. That was this candle down. I think we'll never ever forget that. Just seeing that. Here I am saying we should fire him. So when you go through these, we all know, look, as just a secret, right? The secret is, you can see this right now, this move was going to happen anyway. I know it's crazy. You're like, no, how can you say that? That makes no sense. I'm telling you, yes. People who sold on that were always going to sell. It's just that this was a catalyst and made them shoot it all out at once. I promise you, they were thinking about selling. They were feeling bad. They have a tendency to capitulate. They're paper hands. They're soy boys. They're bears. They're not real bulls. They're weak cowards. They were always going to click that sell button and exit. I know it's painful. I feel the pain too. I feel it 30 times more than anyone else because I have to look at it every freaking day, all right, and make videos about it. But it will be for the better later on because all those weak hands who would have dumped at like 3x above day one sack for PulseX, they sold at minus 90%. They sold at minus 80%. They're out. We've shed so much fat, so much excess weight. It's going to be kind of fun if they FOMO back in as well. Let's hope that happens too. Don't forget, the candles will keep turning green. Bitcoin's going to go up. We've got a lot to look forward to. Make sure you like, subscribe. Catch you in the next one, friends.